This week we discuss Red Notice, a movie that surprisingly found a way to make The Rock traverse a jungle, giving us strong flashbacks to Jungle Cruise and so many other jungle-based movies that star The Rock. But is it the same quality? I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
You're listening to the 30th episode of our podcast. We used to talk about this at work. All right, Matt, 30 episodes in, we are back. We have some guests again. Since, we didn't have one guest last week, we brought two in.
Right. Over conversation.
There you go. That's the name of the game at this point, 30 episodes in, right?
All right. Who would have thought? 30 episodes in. We've been doing this for a while. And I just want to thank our 18 listeners. Y'all been holding us down for all this time. We appreciate it.
Not just that, we want to thank the 3 people that listen on YouTube after we got more than 3 requests to add this content to YouTube. So we want to thank you for that. But also, last episode, surprise, I released the full video of the podcast. So that was a thing. Yeah, so this week we have 2 guests, like I said, and first and foremost, we'd like to welcome back Lemitchel from the Suicide Squad episode.
Oh, y'all remember Lemitchel?
You want applause? Are we doing applause? No. You gonna add that in?
No, I'm not. I'm not now.
Damn it! I heard applause in my head. Hello, everybody.
And also, we alluded to this person in the last episode. This individual is a person that worked with Lemitchel as well. She was in the same position as him. They sat kind of sort of near each other. We very much like to extend a warm welcome to Sarah, but not the Sarah from several episodes. This is a different Sarah.
Hello, glad to be here and really glad to be on a podcast with you guys and specifically Lemitchel, who I haven't got to sit next to in a long time. So it's really
because we sat next to each other, Chad, like right next.
I mean, we had someone in the middle between us for a while and then we moved.
Okay.
Yeah. There was never anyone between us.
Yeah, there was.
Ooh. Metaphorically,
There was a space there, and then I think, okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, while we're on the topic, Sarah, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Oh, shoot. About myself. Okay. Well, we all worked together at one point. I still work in that agency. And as you said, I worked with Lemitchel a few years ago. We worked as a team. It was great doing communications things, right? Like supporting the people and telling stories. So that's sort of like my professional zone and kind of what I do for a living. Still do for a living. I'm a mother. I am a brand new empty nest mother. I'm really young. I'm way too young for this. Let's just make that known for the record. I started really, really early, but now my kids are grown and flown. One's in law school and one is in undergrad. And so this is a brand new life for me. That's where my life is currently.
How do you feel about being an empty nester?
It's an adjustment. I knew it was going to slap me in the face. Didn't know how to feel exactly. So I'd say September 2021 was a pretty tough month for me. Got through it though. My kids got through it. They're doing their thing. Made it through October. Now we're in November. So I think I'm on a right track of like getting adjusted to having kids that are grown. So it's a whole new world. There's no parenting book for this, right? So you get that first book.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, there is, right? But there's not like the usual parent book, the one that they give to everybody when you have a baby the first year, right?
Don't hand you a book when you have a baby.
No parenting book for the specifics of what she's going through.
Not only are there books, there's blogs, there's
podcasts, there's all kinds
YouTube
of stuff.
Content, there's podcasts.
There's no book to her heart.
Thank you, Lemitchel. Okay, so here's the thing. I was unaware of all of those resources and I was not prepared. Now I'm really trying to catch up. So that's just my PSA to everybody out there who's a parent and going to have children that grow up and move on. Prepare yourself, because it is, to me, the hardest part of being a parent is when.
So what is the hardest part? Just them out there in the world and you don't know what they're doing, or is it like now that people ain't in the house, you're lonely? Like exactly what is the hardest part?
The hardest part is knowing this world and knowing they're out in it and hoping that I did what I needed to do as a parent to give them all the tools that they need to be able to handle it. And to know that like I can't protect them from all the shit that's going to come at them in life. Life is tough, and you have sort of a playbook almost when they're in your house, right? Like you kind of can control some things and factors, and once they're out, you can't. And you got to let go, and you got to trust that you did the best you can. You got to hope that the world will be kind to them, and that they'll find that kindness. It's scary. I have a lot of faith in my kids. I think they're amazing. They're wonderful people. And they'll triumph and conquer it all. They'll have their struggles, but like you always want to like kiss the boo-boo, right? When your kid falls down, you want to help them get up, and you can still help them get up in different ways, but a lot of times they got to figure that out by themselves, and that's hard to watch, right? It's hard to feel. So that's the hardest part. So being lonely, yeah, that's hard too. I'm an extrovert. I am used to like being very busy. I'm used to chaos, and now it's very quiet. And so I've got to find some stuff to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to ask you. So like, is there anything that you're looking forward to now that you don't have those damn kids in the way?
Traveling, yes. I am looking forward to getting on planes. I am looking forward to putting my kayak on the top of my car and driving down to Louisiana and putting it in a lake. I'm looking forward to, and I'm already experienced some of the parts of being able to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, like buy the food that I want when, like I don't have to consider anyone else on my day-to-day grind. It's just me.
Okay.
So that's kind of a perk. I've actually never experienced that in my life until right now.
Wow. Okay.
First time in my life. So it's an adjustment. And I'm trying to find those silver linings, right? And there's a lot out there. I have a lot of like things I want to try, things I haven't tried because I've been in motherhood mode for my whole life. And I say my whole life because I had them young, but like there's a lot of things I want to try. I might be good at something I don't know I'm good at. I might suck at it. I'll give it a try.
So I will give you this tip though, as a person who's just lifelong been on his own. Sometimes I do get wrapped up in other people. Like, there was a point where my nieces and nephews were just like everything to me. And I mean, I still love them all. I actually lost a nephew a couple of months ago, actually, after we did the last episode, Chad. And that was hard, but because I have friends too who are actually just like you, but they're newly empty nesters, don't know what to do. And I'm just like, listen, anything that you ever thought you wanted to do, just like do it. Like when I got this job and I came back here, for whatever reason, I felt like this was like a brand new, not even a new chapter, like a new book for me, just a new life book. And I told myself, just without even thinking about it really in my head, I told myself that for the rest of the year, I was going to start saying yes more than no, because I'm so bad about saying I want to do stuff. And then I'm like, oh, I won't do it. And I'll just sit in my room and watch TV or play Bubble Pop on my phone or something. Right. Like that's really my life. But since I've been back here, like I said, I've been out in these streets metaphorically, well, and literally. I mean, I'm out. I'm turning corners. I'm out. It's all kind of stuff. But it's easy for me to say, okay, well, I don't really want to do anything. But then I have to tell myself, no, just go out. Like, just go do stuff. Just travel. Like travel. You mentioned that, and that's my thing. Like, I love travel, so I couldn't wait for this year. But of course, we couldn't. But 2022. So, I mean, I'm ready for 2022 because since I have lived in and visited a great majority of the U.S., like I plan to check off the entire United States. So I'm going to visit all the places in the country that I've never been to. Like that's my 2022.
Are you about to hop in an RV?
Traverse the country? No, it's just going to be like, a weekend here. I might go to Montana or something. I've never been to Montana.
I got you.
pick a place in Montana and go for a weekend and check it off. Like I'm just going to clear out this, the map, right? And then of course I'm going to do some more international traveling because that's what I really want to do. But man, don't talk yourself out of, if you have an idea that seems like a wild harebrained idea,
Right.
like do it anyway. And
Exactly.
just like you said,
come on a podcast, Sarah.
Yeah, do it. Like,
look, this right here is the beginning of your new life. This podcast.
You are welcome.
Love it.
So, Sarah, before we were recording, you were complaining about daylight savings time. What's up?
I was, man. And I know we're not supposed to complain, right? Because this is a thing that happens every year, but it really unpleasant for it, because I like to ride my bike every day after work, or every day that it's nice enough, right? And the minute that the daylight savings times hit, daylight saving time?
It's saving time with no S, yes.
Right, daylight. I know, we should know this. The minute it hits, I just feel this like heavy cloud of dumped weight that like winter is coming and I'm not going to be able to ride my bike because I'm not going to get off work before it's dark. So like, I just know that that's over for a while. And it's kind of just one of those things. I'm like, why do we subscribe to this? So it's on my bucket list to like change the world by removing daylight saving time. I want it on my tombstone.
But there's been so many premium memes, Sarah.
And they will live in infamy, and then they can die. Daylight saving time. Just not a fan.
I fucking hate it too. But not everywhere acknowledges daylight savings. So part of like mountain time, they don't really fuck with daylight
and some
savings.
Countries like quit.
Yeah, like Japan, which is cool for Matt, I guess, but not ideal for our recording.
So when I lived in Arizona, it was actually a really nice break to not have to think about changing the clock. And I was in Arizona for 3 years, and I'm telling you, man, 4 years. And it really was like a nice mental break to not have to worry about changing the clock.
The sun's going to go down sooner. We know that in the winter, but like the time bump makes it go down even sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when they like daylight saving, I'm like, I ain't got to worry about that. But like you said, now when it's darker and all the other stuff, I'm like, as far as time and everything else like that, it's the same. I don't have to change anything. Everything's fine over here.
Everything's fine.
Saying we should all come to Japan is what I'm hearing.
You should. It's a wonderful place.
Meanwhile, that's what I would like to do in 2022. So make a space for me, cousin.
2025 for me. 2025. For me.
I got you. As right now,
we got the year already mapped out, Sarah. Why specifically?
My son wants to go. My son wants to go when he graduates law school. So.
Okay.
Right now, I got couches available. I'm in the process of figuring out to get a house. So yeah, I will have space available.
And I'm not too good for the couch. At all.
2025. Sorry, Sarah, you're on your own. I'll be back in the States by then. So you have to figure out your own connect.
You can leave the connect for me.
So, Lemitchel, you mentioned earlier about some travel, and where have you gone recently, sir?
So recently, I returned back from Cape Town, South Africa, and this was my second time going. I went 3 years ago. I kept saying 4, but apparently, according to Facebook, it was 3 years ago this month, actually this week. But yeah, so I was there about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I went for a wedding. No, it was not the wedding of anybody who lived there. They actually are American and decided they wanted to have their wedding ceremony in Cape Town, South Africa. And I got an invite and I said, hell yeah, I'm going. And it was great. I love Cape Town because I actually have friends there from my last trip. So I was excited to see them when I got there. And then, of course, I made connections with people, other wedding guests who came, who went there also from America. And so it was just a party and in this really picturesque city in this other country that I absolutely love. I really want to make it my mission to move there sooner than later. I would absolutely love to live in Cape Town, South Africa. So yeah, it was really nice, really pretty. The people are one of the biggest things I like about Cape Town so much is honestly the people are really inviting and warm and give like you just when you're there, they don't mind sharing themselves with you in terms of, you know, what they have and who they are. Like they're really such good people over there. So it's a really, you know, kind of calm, cool atmosphere, environment. You know, I was just out there living my life and enjoying myself. Came back to the hotel. I actually had cried when I left the hotel.
Because you had to come back to stinky old America.
Well, there's that, but no, the staff was just really so nice. Like I was there for almost 2 weeks, and it was just like I was leaving family. Like I was so emotional. I got to leave, and they started laughing at me, but they gave me some cookies. They give you cookies when you get there, so they gave me some cookies when I left. So you told me to remember them, and I do, and I will. But no, it was nice. So yeah.
I have a question for the group. Who, aside from specifically this trip you just went on, but for the group, has anybody been invited to a destination wedding?
Yes.
I've never been invited to a wedding before.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So Lemitchel's the only one over here with friends that are like, you know what, fuck the local church. We leaving though.
Yeah, my best friend got married in Barbados, and that was fun. That was about a few years ago, about 3 years ago. And that was fun. We did it up in Barbados, and it was fun to share Barbados with my friends, a whole group of people.
Okay. Lemitchel's friends got money.
That's
no,
because it's yes. You do, because like who out here like, you know what? No. Not only are we spending the money to leave the country to go to a wedding, but we are asking our friends to do that as well.
No, but this is saving and planning, or planning and saving. So when I was invited to the wedding in South Africa, so he told me this was literally the day before New Year's last year, and I just reached out to, you know, we kept in touch over Facebook and everything, and I just reached out and said, hey, you know, Happy New Year coming up, blah blah blah. He was like, oh hey, you know, good to talk to you again. It's you know, save the date, because if all goes well, I'll be getting married in Cape Town, South Africa in October. And I was like, oh, consider this my RSVP. And so I'm thinking, why is he saying if all goes well? But you know, I'm still, you know, responding, hey, consider me there. Well, the next day, which was New Year's Eve, I look on Facebook and he had posted pictures that he had proposed. I'm like, oh, that's what he meant by all goes well. Like, okay. So next thing I know, I started screaming like, I'm going to Cape Town next year. So
oh wow, so he told you where his wedding was going to be before he actually proposed to his fiance.
Yes.
What kind of person?
Right.
I know that's bold. What kind of person is like
planning?
No, Mitchell. No, you going into it's supposed to be a partnership.
You're like this. Hey, will you marry me? Yes. Like, oh yeah, we're getting married next year at this time.
No, but you guys are acting as you're talking as if they may not have had. You don't know if they didn't have what if conversations. Like, hey, if we ever got married, would you want? Like, I don't know what and quite frankly, I don't care what the conversation was, because I got to go to South Africa. So, and apparently everybody involved in the wedding had a great time. So I don't think anybody really had a problem with it.
Look, Mitchell, we're just trying to stir the pot. If this man wants to come on the podcast and set the record straight and fly us out somewhere, let's go.
Okay. Well, you know me, I would definitely pass the word.
I would hope that he listened to this podcast episode.
And I will make sure, because, you know, I will say, hey, I want you to know that you came up on the podcast. You should probably take a listen to it. That's how I like to, you know, get people pulled in, interest them. I try to tell them, like when I sent Sarah that message, hey, you might want to take a listen because maybe somebody talked about you. I don't know. And boom, here she.
Right.
But speaking of money, Lemitchel, we hear that you had a successful night last night, man.
You a high roller.
I mean, you know, sometimes you got to go and shake them up. Like who said that? Ice Cube. You got to go and shake them up. No, No, I won $300 at the casino, which I never win, like ever. Do I never, ever win anything at the casino ever?
Did you
Like I
stop?
think, huh?
Did you stop after that?
Yes, no, I don't. Yes, no, $300 and I was gone. But I'm not even really that impressed by the winning $300. It was actually how it happened that I really was impressed about because first of all, I have actually won. I think about that much on a blackjack table, which I actually like blackjack. I don't play it. I don't know it well enough to play it all the time, but I actually do like it. I never really win on any of the slot machines, but last night, like the tables were all packed and full, and I didn't want to sit that close to that many people like that, so I was good. But I sat at this machine, and so at first I went to the ATM, and it just gave me like one $100 bill. So I was like, well, damn. So I just put it in the machine and played it. Well, on that, I ended up getting $60 over. But then I kind of got like tired of the machine, so I pulled all the money out. So I was like at $105. And then I finally found like the cash cage or whatever because it was hard to find. And so I found it and I got my bills. I got smaller bills. So then I went back to the machine like a little bit later, the same machine, and I put in like $25. Well, on the second spin, I got 10 free spins. And twice in that 10 free spins is when I hit all this money. So when it finally stopped, it was like a little more than $300, and I cashed the hell out. And my friend was like, "Oh, are you done?" I said, "Mm-hmm." And I just sat there and watched everybody else play. But then this couple got on the machine after I did, and when I walked by, I believe I saw her at $500.
Oh.
Like, shit, damn it! So, but I know that wouldn't have been my luck. But and then there was a couple like a few machines down from that one, and they won like $1,000 because the guy was just the girl did, and the guy was just jumping up and down saying, that's when you get up and walk away. It's time to go. It's time to go. And the machine,
Sir, get out her wallet. Get out her wallet, sir.
Right. But the machine is still going, and she's just sitting there, just all calm and everything. And he's literally like jumping up and down and yelling and screaming. And then after the machine stopped, you saw them walk away, and they took their $1,000 winning and left. So it was a good night.
You have to tell me if in where you're at, this is a thing. The smoking in the casinos.
Ugh.
I can't go to them if that's a thing. Like, and I wanted to enjoy it for a while here in the St. Louis area, but like I knew it was just gonna be like I couldn't breathe if I go in. And I don't think it's a thing anymore, but
no,
I know it's in some places.
They smoke heavy here in the casinos. They do not, unfortunately, I don't know, as far as I can tell, build these casinos with exhaust fans in them. I will tell you though, my mother said that she didn't really think so. She didn't see a difference, and it's not like it's a huge major difference, but it was helpful to me. But actually wearing masks now has actually made a little bit of a difference when I have gone, because I mean, I don't like go to casinos. Like I'm not somebody who goes all the time. But when I have gone, since we've been in this COVID situation and I've had my mask on, like, and because I have scent allergies, especially to cigarette smoke. So, and so actually wearing the masks, like I say, while it's not just like kept all the smoke from getting to me, it's actually helped me a lot better. So I don't know if that's a thing if you go and
that makes sense.
So,
not that this necessarily applies to you, but I don't want to, not you, but you guys, I don't want to assume it doesn't. But masks are also great at nail salons because there's a lot of the dust from them grinding on your nails with the files and all of that.
You don't think we like our cuticles pushed back?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Let her know, Lemitchell.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. I'm here for everyone getting manicures and pedicures. But I'm really glad that masks are a thing because we're not breathing in all of people's nail shavings.
I'm really disappointed in myself though that I did it. As much as I don't like germs, I'm not a germaphobe, but I don't like germs. I'm really surprised at myself that I have not thought to wear masks at a sooner point in my life than now. Like
it's a cultural thing, Lemitchel.
What do you mean?
In Asian countries, like that's ingrained in the culture to wear masks. But
no,
in America, not so much. So yeah, that's why.
Well, no, but I don't like to do what everybody else does. So
you have been.
I know, and I should have been going against the grain years ago and being like the Japanese culture and Michael Jackson and wearing masks because I don't like germs and I don't like being around people that much. So, when there are germs involved.
But Lemitchel, don't you remember when you were truly free?
Oh, I'm good now. Like I'm still free. Because I'm double vax and boosted, but I'm still wearing my mask around a bunch of people because I don't trust that people won't open mouth cough on me.
As one should.
Exactly.
Open mouth cough.
I too got my booster shot, and I'm actually a hybrid now. I got that Moderna and Pfizer in my veins now.
Wait a minute. Oh, you are you sure? Okay, you haven't gained any kind of superpowers yet. I don't know if you can mix the two.
I gotta get Johnson and Johnson for that to happen.
Got this cocktail going on.
This is gonna be Chad's origin story.
Right.
Superpowers.
Superpower. Yep. That's how it happened.
All right. So this week I got one thing to report on, and it's because it took me literally all week to watch. But I watched American Crime Story Impeachment. Does anybody know what that is?
I wanted to. Okay, so I don't have cable anymore, but I love American Crime Story, and I wanted to see that, and I forgot about it because I don't have cable, and I need to figure it out.
Sarah, Matt?
Nope.
Okay, I think I know, but you'll have to start talking for me to really.
Okay, so
I think I've told you this before. I don't remember things I've watched.
That you may have told me that, but it was not on the microphone, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, so I don't remember things I watch unless I watch them over and over and over.
Okay, so it's from the people that brought us American Horror Story, but this is a crime story. So season 1 was about the OJ, and then season 2 is about the assassination of Johnny Versace. Mm-hmm. And so season 3 is about the impeachment of Bill Clinton. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was good. But there was like a shift in quality once like shit got real and the FBI like detained Monica Lewinsky. And like once we got to like the fallout, like the show didn't feel as good. So this was like around episode 6 of a 10 episode series. And then like from that point on, if they were just rushing to get to like the impeachment stuff, but then they didn't even really do anything with it. Like he found out he was impeached on TV. Like he was in a room and they were like, well, that's it. You were impeached, sir. They didn't even touch on like how, yes, he was impeached, but he wasn't like removed from office. The casting was awesome. Like they got Edie Falco in as Hillary Clinton, and she was in one scene in the first episode, and you didn't see her again to episode 8. And then you're like, oh shit, she about to act some fucking rings around these motherfuckers. And they didn't give her anything to do as fucking Hillary Clinton.
So having not seen the show yet, just to kind of comment on what you just said, that actually sounds legit because I followed all of that when it happened, and Hillary Clinton was very quiet then. She didn't really say a lot anyway. I mean, I know this is a movie and all of that, but I mean, just in general, like so much was just about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, and then the impeachment. And you're right. At that time, when I, didn't know a whole lot anyway about, politics and how impeachments and stuff worked, I was thinking too they were going to pull him out of office, and they didn't. Well, it wasn't until Trump got impeached that I realized that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to pull these people out of office, and that's how I found that out.
Well, my thing specifically with the Hillary Clinton stuff is like, don't cast Edie Falco, who can act the fuck out of some shit, and you're not going to actually let her do anything.
True. I definitely agree with that. But here's the thing. Edie Falco's name is still attached to that project.
Right. And you watching like, where the fuck is Edie Falco at?
But for Edie Falco, her name is still attached to that project, period.
So they had Clive on as Bill Clinton in like some terrible makeup. Like it didn't even look like Bill Clinton. It was a bad look, y'all. But then they had Sarah Paulson as Linda Tripp, and that shit was like, I didn't even know that was her until I looked at the listings. Like she was lost in that makeup. So she's getting a fucking Emmy for that. The makeup team's getting an Emmy for that.
She morphs any role she does, she morphs. Like she can morph into characters, even real life characters. Like I'm really impressed with her just as an actress in general. Because every role she's taken on so far, she's been a different person. She's not been the same character at all.
Yes. And then you had
No, go ahead.
No, you go. What's up, Sarah?
I didn't know if you were done talking about the show, but I wanted to add a tangent about Bill Clinton, but I can save it.
Oh, we can shit on Bill Clinton after this last little bit.
It's not shitting. It's just a fun fact because I grew up in Arkansas.
Oh shit. Okay. So you had Beanie Feldstein as Monica Lewinsky. She is Jonah Hill's sister, and she's an actress on her own merit. What's that? Booksmart. She was in Booksmart. She's gonna get a fucking award for this shit too. Like she kicked that shit out the park. And then good old Kobe Smulders from How I Met Your Mother, and she's Maria Hill in Marvel stuff. She played Ann Coulter, and I didn't even fucking recognize her. Like the makeup and like the voice she was using, like she got lost in that role too.
Okay, I got it.
You recommend it?
I do recommend it. Like it's very interesting. Monica Lewinsky was a producer on this, so like specifically like anything with Monica in it, like the character, like I feel like you can trust that most likely happened.
Yeah. It's good redemption for her. I like it.
But I didn't know that she was on SNL like shortly after the shit went down. I was like, oh, I didn't know she did that.
That was bold, man.
I think I heard that. Yeah.
But what's your tidbit about William Jefferson Clinton?
So it's two things. I was in 6th grade when he was running for election in like 92, I guess it was.
Putting that age out there, huh, Sarah?
Oh, I accidentally did that.
That sounds intentional.
So back in 6th grade, when he was back in elementary school, whenever it was, when then Bill Clinton was running for election the first time, I was in school, and my teacher was obsessed with him. Her name was Mrs. Hall, and this needs to be on the record somewhere. And that's where I learned a lot about politics, because like I don't know that we learned anything else that year other than about elections and Bill Clinton, and it was just a big deal. This was in Arkansas. I left that out. No, I think I said it earlier, but so I was in Arkansas, and she took us on a field trip to watch Chelsea Clinton play the Ghost of Christmas Past in a Christmas Christmas play at the school that Chelsea Clinton attended. It was a private school in Little Rock, and our class went to this play to watch because my teacher was so obsessed with Bill Clinton.
Some real creeper shit.
Right.
She found some sort of way to include that in our elementary curriculum, but it was a big deal, and she was over the moon when he was elected. So that was like my introduction to Bill Clinton, which sort of set the tone, right, for the Clintons for me in life. So I was very invested in the whole Clinton regime throughout. It's just an interesting little fun fact about my life.
And I'm not saying that teacher stalked the president's daughter, but
just trying to find a way to get in.
Ma'am, you can't bring all those kids in here.
Right.
But they're all friends of Chelsea's.
Right. All right, Matt, what you got for us this week, sir?
I got none personally. I'm gonna save my Netflix recommendation for the main movie. Slight spoiler. Have you guys? I don't know if you guys heard, but Marvel announced all their future TV shows. Have you heard the whole listing? What's your thoughts about it? If not, I have a list. I just want to hear what you guys thoughts about it.
I have not heard the list.
Bits and pieces.
So first they got X-Men from 97 coming out in 2023, the original X-Men cartoon. They shouldn't be waiting for 2023 to come out. That stuff should be coming out next year.
They gotta make sure it's right for us, all right?
They're gonna get rid of all the problematic episodes.
Yeah, gotta get rid of those 90s scripts.
Right. So here's a list of the TV shows. All right, we have Echo. Now, I'll let you know, I didn't do no research on this, so I'm about to let you know And if you know some information, tell me about it. So, Echo, you have anything, any concept of what that's going to be about?
Nah, you should have did some research, man.
Man, come on. We 30 episodes in this. You know damn well I ain't doing no research.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Spider-Man freshman year.
Who is Spider-Man?
All right. See, what happened was there was this guy, and then he got bit by a red spider, and then his uncle died. You know, it's a whole thing. What happens with this guy?
Are these all cartoons?
No. It's a TV show. Well, X-Men is from '97, the cartoon, but
Are you sure that Spider-Man show isn't a cartoon?
It could be. That's what I'm saying. I didn't do no research on this.
Yeah,
I just got the list of the new shows.
The article isn't even telling you that much.
No, it says Marvel reveals the upcoming TV shows. This is what I got.
Are you just reading the headline? Are you just reading the headline? Like, what are you doing?
That's all it was. That's all it was. It says Marvel revealed a ton of new looks at their upcoming TV shows. Here is a list. What are you most excited to see?
I don't even know what this shit is.
So if I say Agatha, you don't know who that is?
Now, who is Agatha? Is that going to be a cartoon, Matt?
Do you think Agatha's going to be a cartoon, Chad?
I don't fucking know.
Wow. If they should make Agatha a cartoon. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you guys know who Agatha is?
No, I've never heard of it.
Did you guys watch WandaVision?
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
Before
you all gasp.
We'll just say The Neighbor. The Neighbor is going to get a show.
Oh, okay.
Yes, without giving spoilers out. Yes, The Neighbor gets a show. They got Miss Marvel and Chad.
Been waiting.
That won't be a cartoon.
Oh, I know.
Okay, you got Marvel Zombies, She-Hulk.
You're not gonna say that.
Okay.
You're not gonna say that Marvel Zombies gonna be a cartoon.
I'm only going off the ones I know. It's not gonna be a cartoon. I don't know if Marvel Zombies is gonna be a cartoon, but make sure you're excited about She-Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, I loved She-Hulk when I was growing up.
I hope that they kind of follow. So in the comics, it was kind of like a riff on Ally McBeal, where in the issues, like a superhero would be getting sued, so she would represent them. But it was like also about like office politics and shit, like bullshit office politics, like Ally McBeal. So I'm kind of hoping that's what we get, but we'll see.
Ally McBeal was a good show when it was out.
When you say that, I thought about the same thing. I was like, I haven't heard Ally McBeal in a long time.
Exactly what I thought.
Good show.
Yeah. You got season 2 of What If. Did you guys like the first season of What If?
That's all right.
What? Did I see that?
The animated Marvel show.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. You have I Am Groot, Ironheart, Secret Invasion, and that's the new list.
Okay.
But speaking of Marvel, I was able to catch up on some movies, and I was able to watch Carnage, or excuse me, Venom Let There Be Carnage. Have you guys seen it?
No.
Tell us about it, Matt.
It's always tricky when I have to explain stuff without spoilers, but you know, it's the second
You
Venom
don't want to
movie.
spoil that movie. Spoil it.
This whole show is spoilers.
Nah, I usually say spoilers where, you know, I do my little lines when I tell people that they should do it. That's for the main movie. But now you should watch it. It's the second Venom movie has Carnage in it and blah blah blah. The only thing I will say is they have Woody Harrelson play Carnage. I can never take him serious. He's always like a comedian to me.
Mm-hmm.
So as he's playing the villain, I'm just like, I'm expecting jokes from him, but he's playing the villain. He's being serious, but I'm like, I can't take him seriously.
So he didn't deliver any one-liners?
No, he did, but he's trying to be menacing and bad, and it's like, nah, I can't take you serious. You have to shoot me to let me know you real.
Woody Harrelson, he has some range and some depth in his acting. He's not just a comedic talent.
Well,
he is a white man that can jump.
Exactly. That's what surprised us all.
Did it? Or did we not see that coming?
No, yeah, you're right. We just
in the title.
Yeah,
in the title.
That's fair. That's fair. It was the title itself was a spoiler. You're right.
I'm just saying.
I just think Cheers when I.
Same.
Me too. Yeah, that's really what I go to every time I hear his name.
So it's funny the way things work out, man. Like last week we were talking about live action remakes of stuff, or maybe it was when Sharon was on the show, and I joked about One Piece, but they're actually doing it.
And that's why I want to direct all my hatred to you, because you manifest this into the universe that nobody else manifested. Nobody else asked for this except for you.
Yeah.
So, and for somebody who's never watched or seen One Piece, for you to say some godly stuff like that is, I'm very disappointed in you.
Yes.
So now they are making a One Piece TV show with live action, and it's not gonna work.
But here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. We saw that trailer for Cowboy Bebop, and that shit looks fucking amazing.
But also, you're talking to somebody who's never seen Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
So I can't say, oh man, they hit it right on the head, or that shit is trash. But so I can't tell you. But as somebody who's seen all 996 episodes of One Piece, it's not going to work.
Why not?
Because One Piece is not built for live action. Because I don't trust you have your Dragon Ball live actions and stuff like that. I don't trust where the main character, Monkey D. Luffy, he is elastic, where he can stretch his arms and bodies and everything. I just don't trust that they're going to do it right, even though they have the creator of the manga. He's the one who's co-signing everything. So,
I mean, that CGI is pretty good these days, man.
I'm going to watch it no matter what, but I do not have high hopes on this. I showed this to the wife, and she was very disappointed in these characters. So she was like, "Oh, only one Japanese person out here." So I was like, "Exactly, representation, Chad. That's what we're out here looking for, representation."
Fair enough.
But I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I hope it's good. I love One Piece. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I hope it don't turn out to the Dragon Ball or the. I take that back. Street Fighter was a good. I'm trying to think of something that was like.
Which one?
The first Street Fighter.
Okay. I mean, but we have nostalgia goggles for that shit. Like, let's not have to actually do an episode on that, Matt. But we have nostalgia goggles.
No, we don't need to go back. I love it too much to go back and watch it in 2021 glasses. But yeah, so
don't worry, we'll have you two back when we review Street Fighter in 2022. Don't worry.
So now we got to watch Street Fighter. I'll support that. Hashtag.
But yeah, I just want to get out of the way so we can so later on when it does come out, we can reference this episode.
Fair enough.
I just got to get this content out here.
So did you finish Only Murderers, Matt?
No, I am on episode 9.
Okay.
Was it like 2 weeks ago? Last week is when you mentioned it.
Yeah, I mentioned it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. And I've watched it. Sarah Lemitchel, have you seen Murders in the Building?
I have not.
No, what is that?
Basically, a murder happens in an apartment building, and people of that building tries to catch who done it, but also they're making a podcast of the murder as they're doing it.
So it's got Steve Martin.
Yeah, no, I wanted to see that, but that's on Hulu, and I don't have Hulu, and I kind of boycotted Hulu years ago. So
why'd you boycott Hulu?
Because the first time that I decided to boycott cable, everybody in Hulu, I think, was kind of relatively new, and I think we might have talked about this once before chat the last time. But everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you can get Hulu, download Hulu," and Hulu didn't have, like, I couldn't get any of the actual shows. Like, they kept, or the networks and stuff, they kept saying I could watch full shows, and I couldn't. And I had paid for it. Like, I had a whole subscription, so I canceled my subscription, and I have not given Hulu the time of day since. Now, allegedly, they changed Hulu and blah blah blah, but I'm scorned. I've been burned, and I'm not really feeling Hulu like that.
Now, these comments are endorsed by Lemitchel. This podcast approves of Hulu. We recommend Hulu, and if Hulu
Hulu
wants
burned
to
me.
sponsor us, we will
Yeah.
support them.
And then they need to make it up to me then. How about that?
We don't know how many times we have to say we will shield for anyone that pays us. All right. You give us a check, you are ours. All right. We are yours, whatever the fuck.
I am ready to sell out.
Yes.
So that's
But
with Hulu.
well, it's if you ever change your mind on Hulu, or no, take that back. Fuck that. I stand up for you, Lemitchel. Hulu, get your stuff together. We'll give you Lemitchel's contact information. You make things right with him so he can get you back on the payroll. All right.
Right.
Because I really do want to see that show. It's got a good lineup, and I want to see it.
Nah, it's real good because there's a girl, her name's Mabel in there. As I'm watching it, damn, dude, I was about to get to that. You fucked my whole steez up. Now I was gonna lead into that. But I was like, she kind of cute. She looked kind of familiar. Do I know her? And it turned out it was her. But thanks. That's okay. Fuck it. We don't even worry about it. All right, this is a good show. Y'all should watch it. And then let's move on.
All right. This week we discuss Red Notice.
Nolan Booth, the second most wanted art thief in the world. I want you to help me catch the most wanted art thief in the world, the Bishop.
Hello, boys. It's so nice to finally meet you in person.
She's gonna steal Cleopatra's eggs. They're priceless. If we catch her together, I can clear my name, and I'll help you become the #1 thief in the world again. This is a marriage of convenience.
I want a divorce, and I'm keeping the kids.
Are you kidding me?
What? This is hard!
Trusting a thief can be dangerous.
Oh, what the
Red Notice follows John Hartley
The Rock,
as he is forced to team up with the #2 thief in the world, Nolan Booth.
Ryan Reynolds,
When the Bishop,
Gal Gadot,
the #1 thief in the world, frames him for stealing one of 3 priceless golden eggs. The guys have a marriage of convenience that sends them around the world in search of the last 2 eggs, but at the end it is revealed that Booth was being conned by Hartley and the Bishop because they were actually working together in the end. Sarah, what did you think of Red Notice?
I liked it, right? Okay, so about 3/4 of the way in, I had some feelings about that there wasn't enough sort of play into the relationship between Booth and Hartley.
Please use their real names.
Between Reynolds and The Rock. Felt like there wasn't enough buildup in the beginning to establish the dynamic that they had, because they had these like moments, right, where they were like having moments. And I was like, this is a little. However, the plot twist fixed that. And I was like, oh, I feel differently now. I think it's okay now, because now it would make sense for there to have been that buildup because things changed. So I liked the movie. It had all the things that I like in shows and movies. It had action, it had music, it had artifacts and history, which I love. It had fight scenes, it had humor, it had all the things that I like in a show and movie. It reminded me of sort of like, I don't know if you guys watch the show Blacklist, but like the kind of point of Blacklist meets Indiana Jones meets like a Marvel show, like all kind of mashed up, and it somehow worked for me. I liked it. And I like the casting. And Ryan Reynolds was sort of like his typical self in comedy, and I appreciated that too.
Were you about to call him John Cena?
I was not. Were you?
No, because you sound you about to say John.
John Hartley.
Oh, okay.
John Hartley, The Rock. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. I mean, I could go on, but I'll let Lemitchel.
She doesn't really remember the rest of the movie. Well, first of all, Gal Gadot can do no wrong for me. I absolutely love her. She is one of my movie crushes, of course. One, for obvious reasons, and then 2, for other obvious reasons. She's Wonder Woman and she's pretty. So, but I actually I liked the movie a lot. I really liked these three people together in this movie. Like I thought they all fit very well. They all fit very well in their characters. Ironically, kind of a discussion, Chad, that we had about my thoughts about Ryan Reynolds in some of his other roles. Which this is where you got some beef with me. We'll talk about beef. But I actually like Ryan Reynolds in some of his other roles, even though he kind of tends to play the same character to me in oftentimes, or his characters tend to kind of be similar. But in this movie, that fit for that character and for the dynamic between the three. Initially, I thought that The Rock was going to be this stereotypical character that he always plays, this tough guy who's saving the day, blah, blah, blah. But what I was really pleasantly surprised to see about this character is that he actually was, even though he was this tough guy, he actually was more vulnerable in this character, which I actually liked for him, because it didn't give me the sense that he was playing the same type of character that he tends to always play in my head. And so I liked to see that. And again, Gal Gadot can do no wrong. So I don't care if she's playing a villain or a hero. I'm going to root for her every time. So boom, there that is.
Okay, so I see which way the wind's blowing. And you know what? I'm about to just be fucking brave, all right? This movie was the cinematic equivalent of fast food. It provided fast and cheap entertainment. It had actors you like, going through the motions and doing the same shit that they do in every other movie. It had some cheap laughs. It had action, but it was toothless. Like, there was no consequences. Nobody got hurt. Like, it was unnecessary calories, and for what? Like, this movie was fine.
Isn't that America, though? Unnecessary calories for what?
I mean, it was fun, but like at the end of it, it just felt hollow. Like, it had a really cool.
What were you wanting to see from it?
I don't know. Like, the moment that I realized that nobody was dying, I was like, what is the point in this? Like, I know that, we're supposed to have like fun watching this shit, but it's like, I want to feel like there are some stakes.
But isn't that stereotypical though? I mean, we always get somebody dying in these kinds of movies. Like, why would that be necessary for every movie, for this movie?
Well, no, just Chad, you came in. See, this you messed up. You came into McDonald's looking for steak. That was your problem.
I didn't know I was going into McDonald's though.
But I'm just saying, you have The Rock
and
Ryan Reynolds,
right?
And then you expected something different. What between like they said earlier, with Ryan Reynolds plays the exact same some of his thing, and we know damn sure The Rock plays the same stuff in every movie. So when you have especially those two in there, what did you so you expected more from these two then? That's what
I'm saying is the last piece of shit we saw The Rock in, Jungle Cruise, that had some sort of stake.
Whoa. Well, it wasn't shit.
We had issues with it.
Of course, but I would call it shit though. It was a movie.
Fair enough.
Dwayne, Chad said that, not me.
Fair enough. But what I'm saying is like what was the point of this movie? Like, what was the end goal? To get the 3 eggs so Gal Gadot doesn't get them, so she can get some money. Like, let's not even talk about the twist or anything like that. Like, okay, we got to clear his name, but like if he was actually an agent, like that could have easily been cleared up with like calling the proper authorities, like back in Quantico or whatever. So I'm like, what were the stakes of this movie?
Well, who was supposed to call that? Because technically they did.
The flowchart changed though in the movie. Like, you thought it was going to go this way, and then it went that way. And then
what I'm saying is, if this was the straightforward plot of he's actually an FBI agent, and the bishop fucked up the call and was like, I don't know who the fuck that man is, which she didn't really need to do because he really wasn't an agent. Like, if he was actually an agent, he could have gotten eventually a call to like the embassy or something for them to straighten it up. If he was who he said he was, he didn't need to go on this globe-trotting adventure if he was who he said he was. I'm just going from that angle of it.
Well, no, I'm saying, but like the whole point of him going on this adventure was to prove or to
Clear
get
his name.
trust.
It was
No,
to clear his name.
Oh,
No.
That was-
You mean the
No.
you mean the true mission?
Right, because I'm saying, like, I don't want to say this. We are Ryan Reynolds. Okay, we are Ryan Reynolds. He's telling us, hey, the reason why I'm doing this is to clear my name. So in Ryan Reynolds' mind, he's like, all right, he's doing this to clear his name. But in quote unquote in the movie scene, he's doing this because he wants to gain Ryan Reynolds' trust so he can tell him what a third egg was.
And
Right.
so,
That's the reason why.
And so basically, in my perception was, so Ryan Reynolds thinks that he's running this con game on this dude, even though this dude, The Rock, is trying to get him, like you said, to.
And Reynolds wasn't
trust
trying to
me.
run a con though.
Well, he was though. He kind of was, or at least he thought he was, because, like he said, his whole point was he was trying to be number one above this Bishop person, right? Well, I don't know. He's using him. He's thinking that he's kind of getting this little insight, or he's getting whatever he's getting from The Rock. Well, The Rock is trying to gain this trust. When it's all said and done, they're actually running a con on him that he doesn't know. So the whole point, I think, to the movie for the viewers in my head was like there were enough, to me, there were enough twists in the movie that I literally did not see coming.
Besides the ending twist, what twist?
Well, I didn't see. I honestly did not see that the two characters were working together.
That's the ending twist. You said there were so many twists. That's
well,
one.
I mean,
all right, Lemitchel, I got you. Now, before I join in on Lemitchel, let me say this first. I wish I would have been on that podcast before, because with your love for Gal is, I totally disagree with that. With that being said,
That's right. That's
right.
right.
Yes,
right.
so that's why I was. So let me get back, but I will help defend it. Okay, so the first twist was they were remember when they assumed Gal was working with the little guy?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like little twists like that
But
where
it was very clear that she was going to betray him. Like, all she's been doing is fucking with people.
Well, no, it became clear that she was going to betray the little guy when they got there, but I didn't see that she was even working with him. Like, it took me to kind of get into it. See, oh, okay. Like, I didn't see that part coming. Now, I did see the betrayal. Like, I saw that coming, but I didn't put together that she was working with, the little dude. I didn't put together that she was working with The Rock. Like, I didn't put those things together. As a matter of fact, for me, with The Rock, playing these typical characters, and Ryan Reynolds, to me, the difference in this movie in terms of the characters was Gal Gadot, like the character she played, because she doesn't play the same character in all her movies, to me, like the other two do. So I feel like that's what kind of made these three work together for me, was the fact that I had these expectations of who these other two characters were going to be, because they're typically always the same character.
One thing I gotta say about The Rock, when they went to the jungle, when they went to South America, I was like, God damn it, Rock.
That's why I put that shit in the intro.
I was like, how many fucking movies have we seen you and you look exactly the same like this in like 4 or 5 different movies? Switch it up to something else.
Go to the
stereotypical Rock characters. Stereotypical Rock
right,
characters.
that's like, you could have paused that scene and brought it up like, what movie is this? People would have named 4 or 5 different movies for that, what that was.
Yep. Now I will say, I'm glad that they didn't, because okay, so what would have been typical, which actually ended up happening, but I was okay with, was them two being the two love interests, because of course, you saw that coming. Well, that would have been stereotypical in the beginning. What I like though is that I didn't see that coming, because The Rock is going to be with the girl, with the woman.
But everything I've seen him in where he's quote unquote with a love interest, it felt super unnatural. Like, this is the one time it felt somewhat normal.
And that's why I actually didn't mind it with this movie because it actually did. Like it was so not in the movie throughout the movie. It came at this one particular time, and it actually worked for me.
But yeah,
I was going to chime in and say that I was with you, Chad, like about how it kind of fell flat in some ways. That first 2/3 of the movie, I was like, that's what I was saying before. Something's missing here, or there's not depth in this movie. But then with the plot twist, I was like, okay, well, I guess that's some redemption because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And if it was going to be that, then it was going to be weak. But then it turned into something else, and then I was okay with it.
but Sarah, you got the plot twist, and then 3 scenes later, the movie's over. So like,
Yeah,
how's that any
unfortunate.
redemption?
Because I have a really short attention span, so it was okay with me.
Oh, that's the last thing I remember. Okay. But no, like my end cap here is like I didn't like this movie, and fuck you, movie, for setting up a sequel, and you don't even know how this is gonna be received.
I do like the one-liners that came out of it, like 2 birds, 1 egg. I mean, there were lots of little one-liners in there that I really like. I remembered those, and I don't remember things from movies, and I remembered those, and so like things like that. I laughed out loud, and I laughed pretty hard a couple times. So like, if you can make me do that, even if it's a fast food movie and I'm entertained, that's good for me on a Saturday.
And I think that's what it is. It's once you have, if The Rock is in it, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a fast food movie, and like you get Ryan Reynolds, where he's Ryan Reynolds, even if he's Deadpool or anything else, he's Ryan Reynolds.
Was he Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy?
I haven't seen it.
No, I mean I'm only asking because I know Matt's seen it. I haven't.
He's Ryan Reynolds in the sense of, the one-liners and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and like Sarah said, I enjoyed the one-liners and everything. And then, towards the end where he was like, he mentioned the Vin Diesel audition tape for Cats.
Yes, and I was like, rivalry.
And I was like, he's like, that's a real thing. And I was like, I should probably look this up, but I never got to look it up. Have you guys seen this audition tape?
Is it real?
Is that a real?
They say it's a real thing.
Oh my goodness. I did like the turtleneck. There were lots of little things that, they weaved in that were kind of cute and fun. I appreciate it because it would have been too cheesy without some of those make you laugh moments.
Right. And like one thing that sticks out in my head is like the bull scene where he was like, "Don't move," and he was like, "No, those are dinosaurs. That's Jurassic Park." He was like, "No, it's not." And he was like, "Was Jeff Goldblum in it?" Shit, it was Jurassic Park, bruh.
I love the Etsy reference with the painting on the wall, and he was like, I got that from Etsy. Like those little things like that Ryan Reynolds brought to the movie were clever and quick and kept me awake.
Kept you awake.
That's why I like Ryan Reynolds in anything except Deadpool.
Moving on. Any additional thoughts, Matt?
Yes, I want to. Let's compare and contrast. This is a buddy movie, so there's been a lot of different buddy movies. So if you were going to make another buddy movie, would you like to see The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, The Rock and Kevin Hart, Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson? Like, because Hitman's Bodyguard is the last thing I seen like that. So there's been a lot of buddy stuff, or none of those people involved. Like, what's a movie that you would like to see a new buddy?
Oh, just an interesting pairing of people.
Yeah, because that should be, quote unquote action person than a funny person.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say Lil Rel. He's our funny guy.
Okay.
Let's put him with John Cena.
Well, we've already seen that.
No, I know.
We see that in Vacation Friends,
but it's a buddy action film.
Yeah. But speaking of that, right now there's a bidding war for a movie with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista in a buddy movie.
Any of them? I guess Dave Bautista's funny. Well, they're both funny. Interesting. So I don't know if I would want the two of them specifically, but I would want one of them and somebody else in a buddy movie.
I like The Rock and Leslie Jones.
Ooh.
And who?
Ooh,
That would be interesting.
And who?
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones.
That would be interesting.
She
think they
played the
could-
black one in the new Ghostbusters. The black.
She played the
woman.
black one. She
Yeah,
was the black one.
the
She
black
didn't play a
one.
black person.
What? Well, she did play a black person. But yes, a black. Yeah, from Ghostbusters.
Saturday
What else
Night
was she
Live.
in? Saturday Night Live.
Coming to America too. She was the mama.
Oh, yeah.
That shit.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's a
Um,
good one.
See her and The Rock in a movie together.
That would be interesting.
It would be, but I don't see The Rock doing that.
Not sure what kind of plot it would be, but I think they could pull it off.
I mean, it's the
Sarah
same bullshit.
Silverman, I think Sarah Silverman would be another good one, like a really like hard, dry sense of humor person.
I need Sarah Silverman not to do bullshit. Like she was in. Last thing I saw her in was Space Jam.
You saw that?
Didn't see it.
Yeah, we reviewed
Wait,
it.
who was-
Mitchell, are you not a fan?
I am a fan, but I wasn't I mean, Space Jam was what it was. I don't have kids.
Well, A New Legacy, not the original.
I know, and I don't have kids.
That's not about children. That movie, it's not about the children with Space Jam. All right.
I understand. I know, but I don't have kids. I feel like I needed to see it. I'm gonna die on that sword. So
It's fine. It wasn't good. All right. So Rotten Tomatoes. What do you all think the Rotten Tomatoes is on Red Notice?
I think is 96%.
Whoa, a high score. What about you, Sarah?
Go 86.
I go 60.
39.
I knew it was gonna be low. I knew it was gonna be low.
But I will tell you this: the audience score was 92%.
That's what I was going by.
It seems like it'd be a good movie to watch in theaters with popcorn.
I mean, that's not necessarily theater stuff. Like the tomato meter is like actual critics. And funny enough, I looked up to see what the requirements were to be a critic because I was like, oh man, we should be on Rotten Tomatoes. But you at a minimum, you need 5 years in the game. But yeah. All right, we're gonna do a trivia question and then a trivia dump, and then we're out of here. All right, Red Notice is Dwayne Johnson's third collaboration with director Rawson Marshall Thuber. Which of the following is not one? A, Central Intelligence, B, Baywatch, or C, Skyscraper?
Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Skyscraper.
Interesting. So before I actually answer this, did anybody want to change their answer so that we can either did Matt or Sarah want to change their answer so that we have the spread covered?
Ooh.
I'm sticking with Baywatch.
I really don't think it's Central Intelligence. It's got too much of similar
Vibes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the answer is Baywatch. So
This is why I don't really gamble at the casino because I'm
I mean, I probably would have fucked it up too because it's like I saw like the first like 20 minutes of Skyscraper and I was like, this movie's fucking terrible, and I stopped it.
I don't think I finished it either.
Well, I was gonna say Baywatch, but the only reason why I went with what I went with is because that was the first one that came to my head, and I'm trying to stop doubting myself, which clearly I should.
Always go with your first mind, Mitchell.
I did, and I was wrong.
All right, so trivia dump. This jet-setting, globe-trotting movie features numerous exotic locales and settings, including Rome, Bali, Valencia, Cairo, Argentina, Sardinia, and London. However, many of the sites were actually filmed in Georgia. The movie has a budget.
Wait, hold on. Oh, my bad. I was saying, when were they in Cairo?
At the very beginning.
Georgia, the state, or Georgia, the country?
I apologize. The state of Georgia.
Oh, okay.
At the beginning, when you're watching that movie about the history of the eggs.
Oh, okay.
The movie has a budget of around $200 million. which is Netflix's biggest budget ever yet for a feature film. This so the three stars of the movie, Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot, all got $20 million for being in this movie. And lastly, both Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson's drink their own brand of liquor as their characters. Ryan drinks Aviator American Gin when they're at his house when he's about to get arrested. And Dwayne Johnson drinks his tequila at the airport before he's arrested.
That's what I was paying attention to that because I was seeing if The Rock was going to put in Termana in there.
Mm-hmm.
Rock, send us some Termana.
And they really focused in on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually did pay attention to what they were drinking. Like, I actually noticed that. I don't know. I didn't really know why I noticed that, but I did notice that. Oh, that's interesting.
All right. So, Sarah, Lemitchel, do either of you have anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
As usual, I am not working on anything fantastical at the moment, other than we used to talk about this at work podcast.
He's a good guest.
Yeah, he is. For me, I am currently listening to Barack Obama's book, and it's phenomenal. I listened to Michelle Obama's book last year and blew me away. I think every parent should read and listen to Michelle Obama's book. I wish I would have been, and I listen to most books, but I wish someone would have given me that book when I was 18.
Is it becoming?
And so I hope a lot of young women and young mothers listen to her book.
So, Sarah, I asked if you had anything to plug, and you're going to plug the Obamas.
That's what I'm going to plug because I feel so strongly about it because I have nothing on my plate. So I'm going to plug the Obamas.
Except to book travel. She's booking travel.
Yeah, the Obamas don't get enough promotion, so we'll have our 18 listeners listen to it.
So we want to thank you for returning, Lemitchel, and we want to thank you for joining us in this fun this week, Sarah. It was really fun catching up with you guys, and we will definitely have you guys back.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
I second that. Thank you so much for both of you guys for being on the podcast. Feel like we had great conversations on multiple fronts. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you, Matt, for being here. I mean, I had a great time with Chad, but it's really exciting to do the show with both of you guys. It was good to see you again, Sarah.
Sure.
So thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Used to Talk Pod. Tune in next week when we welcome back Josh from the UK to talk about Quantum of Solace.
I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if this was a bad episode, but whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.